detoxing the world one family at a time. Okay? When we talk about detox, there are a lot of different definitions of detox. And for me, some medical professionals will discount detoxing, and they'll say, well, you can't detox, you aren't going to cure people by detoxing. And typically what they're thinking about is a cleanse or just like a colon punch or something like that, because that's typically what's thought of as a quote detox program. We all know that detoxes do work. There are detoxes from drug abuse. There are other kinds of detoxes that people go through all the time. So we're going to talk about what our detox means and a little bit about how you can relate to, let's say you meet with an MD and he says, well, I don't believe in detoxing. Say, do you believe in a healthy lifestyle? Yes. Do you believe in good nutrition? Yes. Do you believe that we eat improper? Yes. Well, what we're trying to do is detox people's lives from these bad habits of ingesting things that don't help us, okay? If we're eating 5 Big Macs a week for lunch, we probably need some detoxing of our habits and detoxing our life, because we probably got high cholesterol levels and everything. So when we talk about detox, we may be taking it in a little more general term so we can be more mainstream and make sure that we don't offend people who say, well, I don't believe in detoxing. Everybody believes in detoxing our habits, our thoughts, and detoxing the things that we may be putting into our body, okay? So let's talk a little bit about detoxes. Some of the common detoxes are what are called cleanses. People say, well, just increase your fiber. Some people may go strictly on a vegetarian, eat all vegetables. The cabbage, how many heard of the cabbage soup diet? Okay, cabbage soup diet, yeah, it works for a while, and it just overloads you with fiber, which is good, but typically will work for just a while you're on it. Fruit detox, people say, okay, I'll eat fruit in the morning. All of these are forms of detoxing our normal habit of, bacon, eggs for breakfast, cheeseburger for lunch, and something big with a big casserole for dinner. Okay, so that's what these kinds of things do. Some people go on a raw food detox, and others will just do a juice detox. And again, these can be called cleanses or detoxes, but they are ways of changing the things that we're putting into our body. Okay? Some of the components, as we go through these, because they do help jumpstart a weight loss program. Some of the components that we would put into there, you can use green tea or live skinny, because what we need to do is carry out the weight. That's why it's a part of the detox program. It hydrates, it alkalizes, it replaces the trace minerals that we need in our diet every day. Crave. Okay. Those of you not familiar with Crave, Crave is a fiber. My grandkids, that's what they get for a snack. They get a packet of Crave, they sit there and stick their finger in it, probably they get as many minerals off their finger when they're dipping it in there, but that's they do from the product. But it's a great snack because it has less calories than an apple, but more fiber than an apple. So if you want your kids to have a good, healthy snack and it tastes good, most of them may not sit down and say, here, eat an apple. Some kids might, but Crave is something they can take with them and eat any time. Helps them feel a little bit fuller. It helps absorb toxins. We talk about some of the ingredients in Crave, things like inulin. Inulin is an extract from chicory root and is what we call a prebiotic. How many have heard of probiotics? Probiotics, yeah. Acidophilus. You've got to eat that acidophilus. It's really good for you. But you know what? They're finding that maybe getting too much of the acidic food, the acidophilus, and those acid-forming bacteria is contributing to weight gain. There's some recent studies in China that say we need to get more of the natural flora restored in the body because the over-acidity in the colon is what's causing people to gain weight. And so that's how the green tea or the live skinny can help balance that alkalinity, but also the Crave can provide the inulin, which helps the good bacteria to grow in our body. And by having that good bacteria grow, then we have a healthier digestive tract. And so all of the ingredients in there are natural. It's naturally sweet with a little bit of fructose, less fructose than if you eat an apple. Fructose is the sugar that's found naturally in apples. But, so somebody asks, oh, I see there's fructose in there. Is that high fructose corn syrup? No, it's completely different. It's the same family. It's, fructose, but it's a little different than the other, okay? Any questions about Crave? You know what I do with Crave? Keep it in my door handle of my car. I'm driving home because I've been at the office late or whatever, and I'm starving to death. What I do is I'll eat a packet of Crave on the way home. When I get home, I don't just run to the fridge and grab the first thing out and start eating as fast as I can eat. It helps curb your appetite. Also, another thing that my wife and I do is we'll each take a packet of Crave when we're going out to eat. We'll each eat a packet of Crave, and then we'll each get a salad and split an entree. And it cut our food bill by just being able to do that. And we all walk out happy. So cleanse tea is another part that you can add to it. It has sen in it. Now, everybody always asks me, what are the products that can't be used when pregnant or nursing? Cleanse tea is the one product that you need to be careful of because it does have the senna. The senna causes contractions, something that typically you don't want to have early in a pregnancy. Okay? And so they recommend any product that does any type laxative type product, they should not use in pregnancy. There's no health risk as far as toxicity or causing premature baby, something like that, but just that it causes the contractions. Okay? It also has the dandelion, which helps the kidneys, and then the milk thistle, which helps the liver. Why is the liver important? That's where we process all the garbage. Okay, all the garbage, all the antibiotics, all that stuff goes processed through the liver. And being able to help cleanse the liver is important. Okay. Next question is, if you're doing a cleanse, how much should you do? Typically, especially if you're working with a new person, you don't want to have them start by blowing the doors off of the bathroom, okay? You just want to start slow, okay? So you can start with one capsule, see how they do. Some people who are very lazy colon do 4 or 5 capsules before they really feel comfortable, and it's not habit forming. They can use it as often or as they need to. The only time they've shown that these type of products are habit forming or when people abuse them, it's such as people who do it to lose weight drastically and become anorexic, those kind of things. Okay. Another thing you can do is you can vary your detox or your cleanse. If you want to go, okay, I'm just going to dip my toe in the water, you can start with some gentle things. Just add the products to your existing diet. If people are interested in jumping in a little more, they can begin to cut out some of the processed food. Don't eat out as much. Eat more whole and unprocessed food. You want to get a little stronger, go straight to a fruit diet. Do a fruit before noon. For many of you heard of that type of diet. And then increase the amount of raw food we eat. If you really want to go on a strong one, a lot of people do this to jumpstart a diet. Jolene with her 21-day cleanse does a lot of the fruit, vegetable juices, and raw foods to get started on that. So that's how you can start that detox program with the products. Okay? Again, start slowly. You don't need to jump in. The worst thing you can do is have a person start, take all the products, and go, oh, I'm having a reaction here because they haven't been regular. They've been taking a lot of things that toxins their body, now your body's trying to get rid of it, and they just feel worse than they start. So start slow. If people have a reaction, say, wow, I got a bad headache or something like that, say, well, do you typically drink caffeine? Have you used other medicines and our body's detox them? Back up, go slow, and they should start with a mild cleanse so that they will not stop it. How often should you do it? Listen to your body. Some people do a spring cleaning, some people do it twice a year. Really, you can use the product as often as you need to, as often as you like to. Okay? And as people begin to detox, it's been great talking to several of you and hearing your experiences because I've heard a lot of people say, I just had more energy, I felt better, my joints didn't ache, that kind of thing. And weight loss is a normal result of a cleanse program. The next thing I want to talk about just really quickly is our product Go and how that fits into all of this. Go helps us develop lean muscle mass. Now, most of us in this room will die with cardiovascular disease. It's a sad fact, but we would. But what we want to do is to help prevent as much as we can and to lessen the effects of cardiovascular disease. Let me show you a few statistics really quick, but nitric oxide. Has anybody studied nitric oxide? How about nitrous oxide? You know what nitrous oxide is, right? Yeah, it's the old laughing gas, right? Okay, this is nitric oxide, NO, and that's basically the molecule. And let's talk about what it does in the body. going to spend the next half hour and go over this whole thing, arginine citrulline cycle. Does that sound exciting? Here's what it does basically in the body. Look at the nitric oxide is produced and vasodilation. What does that mean? Increase the elasticity and open up the veins so we get better circulation. Anybody know anybody with diabetes? Okay. What's one of the worst things that happens with diabetics? Circulation issues. They lose circulation to their extremities. They lose their extremities. They sometimes have to have them amputated because of this lack of circulation. What this does, this is the arginine citrulline cycle, which is a part of our GO. It increases vasodilation, helping increase the elasticity of our veins. Okay, we're talking about cardiovascular disease. Everybody talks about hardening of the arteries. Okay, this helps reverse that. It helps prevent that from happening. So, opens up, gives us more circulation. What this shows is there is an important role between arginine and citrulline. And it's important, the dose is important. So some people say, well, just put in capsules, I'd rather take capsules. You need at least 5 grams of arginine in order to force the production of more nitric oxide. That's how much is in each dose of the GO.
And how much is that?
5 grams.
And that's all you need?
That's to give, yeah, that's the kind of the minimum dose to get you started in that arginine. Can you take more? Yes. But that's the amount that will help produce maximum amount of nitric oxide in the body. Okay. Some weightlifters will take up to 30 grams a day. Probably for most of us, that's excessive. It gets pretty expensive. It takes arginine is a very expensive amino acid. Okay. What this tells us is that there is an important arginine and citrulline. Actually, when the arginine produces the nitric oxide, the vasodilation, then citrulline helps boost and produce more arginine. So what it does is the citrulline, which we have in our product, actually helps produce more arginine, which then produces more nitric oxide. So it's kind of like a kick in the rear to the arginine, and gets to produce more nitric oxide. That's why we have those 2 in there. And we actually use a special citrulline, which is called citrulline malate. And citrulline malate has also been shown to help increase ATP. You know what ATP is? ATP is adenosine triphosphate. It's cell energy. That is the exact molecule that produces cellular energy. And so it helps increase cellular energy. Our body has more cellular energy. Our body produces more. When I'm doing this, I'm burning ATP. Okay? And when I relax, I'm not burning ATP. So it actually helps produce more muscle energy. And then it also increases the rate at which we recover. In other words, we recover more rapidly from exercise. Okay? So that's why our formula is different.
Right?
Pardon?
I mean, that helps with, you recover more rapidly, like, from anything, like if you bruise yourself or whatever.
Surgery.
Surgery.
Yeah, all those types of things, because it helps increase circulation. Now, what happens when you get healed? What has to happen? Okay, you have to have circulation. Now, think about old grandpa, which I'm old grandpa, but anyway, when you get bruised, you know, I see my grandpa, and he'd have these bruises on his hand that would stay there for like weeks and weeks. It's because they get less circulation as they get older. And when the kids are young, they have that circulation and their repair mechanisms work great. Part of it's the immune system. This actually helps build the immune system also. So it's all about repairing and building up the system. Okay? We won't get into this. Our bodies normally produce nitric oxide in the endothelial cells. Question?
I have a question for people who are already kind of into heart disease, and especially for people who have blood clotting.
Okay.
Issues with blood clotting. How would that work out for them?
Yeah. Blood clot, the person may be on warfarin or Coumadin or something like that for blood clot, for thinning out the blood. One of the things that this will not do, this will not affect, none of the products will cause a problem if they are on the blood thinning medications already. Okay? It will help increase circulation, it will help increase the elasticity of the vein, so it can only help them. Okay? But the question I typically get is, well, this person's on blood thinner and they're not supposed to eat anything green. Well, green is kind of a real general term. Does everybody can't eat green M&Ms? And, you know, because they say, well, no lettuce and those kinds of things. Because some vegetables actually will thin out your blood more. And logically, I think, well, why don't they just eat more lettuce to begin with, and then they don't have to take the medicine?
Right.
But, okay, let's assume that the person is on the medicine, the Live Skinny and the Green 2O, nor this product, nor the Go they don't cause any problem if a person is on blood thinners, okay? And if a doctor has a question, they can call me about it, but there's really no problem with taking that if they are on blood thinning medication.
What about statin drugs? Are those blood thinners?
Statins, no.
Yeah, that's different.
Now, statin drugs are typically for cholesterol levels.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and so the statin drugs, they can't take along with that because this will only enhance the effectiveness of the statin drugs.
So in fact, if they start getting healthier, they might cut back on it.
Yeah. And we've had people that have been on statin drugs who started using the products and been able to completely get off their statin drugs and also their high blood pressure medication. Now, here's what I don't recommend. Going up to somebody saying, hey, take these products, you can get off all your drugs, okay? These are products that as you get healthier, it's like if I have a sore leg, I'm gonna take an aspirin, okay, or whatever I'm gonna take. But I'm not gonna, you need to make sure that you take care of the problem with it, and then once I don't have the sore leg, then I don't have to worry about it. Does that make sense? In other words, get the person healthier by using the products, and then they will normally see that they don't have to take the products. You know, if I don't have a sore leg because I've reduced inflammation through my drinking the Live Skinny, I'm not going to be taking my ibuprofen or my aspirin. Okay? And in that order, as opposed to drink the Live Skinny and stop taking your medication. So, just go on quickly. Let's skip these. But sorry for those who are very technical and like this stuff. These are some of the things that other effects of the product has anti-inflammatory effects. Now, inflammation is one of the killers, the biggest killers in our lives, because inflammation causes a lot of problems. It's been related to Alzheimer's, it's been related to cancer, it's been linked to diabetes. Almost all of our diseases have some level of inflammation associated with that. So if we can reduce inflammation in our bodies, we can help alleviate or at least reduce the risk of many of the diseases, because almost all disease has an important component, which is the inflammation in the body. And what they're finding, for example, if you look at inflammation in our cardiovascular system, okay, when we get inflammation, it causes little tears in our cardiovascular, in our veins, or in our arteries. What does the body do when there's a little tear, a little oxidative tear in it? It repairs it. How does it repair it? It puts a Band-Aid on there. You know what the Band-Aid is? Cholesterol. Okay, cholesterol is a Band-Aid. So now you have chronic inflammation throughout your body. It's putting all these Band-Aids all over in your cardiovascular system. What happens over time? You get all that blockage. And so that's how, if we can reduce the inflammation, that's just one of the ways that it can help. Also, as we gain weight, our body spews out these things called cytokines. And cytokines cause insulin resistance. How many have heard of insulin resistance? Okay. Insulin resistance is when our body, we have insulin, but the cells don't recognize that insulin. Each cell, this is a cell, has receptors for insulin. What happens is the insulin, when you eat something, insulin's produced in the pancreas, and the body says, okay, we're going to make energy. So insulin, you're the key, open the gate, and then the sugars come in and the calories come in, and they go through the key and then into the cell, produce energy. Okay, does that make sense?
Yes.
What happens is, when you have insulin resistance, these guys don't work, or maybe you've got 2 of them that work, or maybe, 3 out of 4 work. Now I've got all this insulin coming in, and these guys hook up, and I've got this extra insulin, and I produce some energy, but what the insulin does is, if it doesn't facilitate the production of energy, it actually then goes and produces fat. Okay? It actually deposits. So can't use the calories. What's my body going to do? It's going to say, well, can't make energy, so I'm going to just store it as fat. And so that's what happens, that's why insulin resistance is so important. And insulin resistance has to do with lower levels of inflammation throughout our body. So it's important to help reduce the inflammation. Now, when insulin resistance gets really bad, what happens is that these don't work anymore. You've got the insulin, and you're now a diabetic. Okay, so that's what happens, and that usually happens because, have you noticed that people mostly get diabetes for type 2 when they gain a lot of weight, right?
Right.
Because what happens is those cytokines, those inflammatory responses, then cause the problem, cause that insulin resistance. The person says, I'm hardly eating anything, I just don't get any energy. And normally we need to get energy, and because of that lack of energy, they eat more, but their body doesn't work right because they have insulin resistance. So it just keeps no energy, fat, no energy, more fat. And so we need to reduce the inflammation and help the body function more efficiently. So that's why it's important to reduce that inflammation in the body.
And that's the Nitrox helps with that.
Yeah, the nitrax, also the LIV Skinny will do that too, and also the green 2. They all have mild anti-inflammatory carbs. And then we're drinking that all day, alkaline, it helps that also.
Was it somebody that I have takes it and they don't take it till nighttime because they say it makes them really sleepy?
Which
The go. And
okay,
now why would that be?
and what I would say is
Because-
perfect. That's the best time to take it.
At night.
Really?
At night, right before you go to bed. In fact, I've got a slide, I'll skip over that. The reason you take it right before you go to bed is because it helps your body produce HGH, human growth hormone. Human growth hormone when we're babies is really good. What is it? When babies have a lot of human growth hormone, what do?
Sleep.
They sleep a lot. Okay? We should take although the GO has ingredients to give us more energy, it also can help people sleep better. And because it helps the body produce more HGH. And so the best protocol for taking the GO is right before you go to bed. Put it in your medicine cabinet right there before you brush your teeth. Take the scoop of GO, 4 ounces of water. I actually put mine in warm water, stir it up, drink it down, brush your teeth, go to bed. And then that's really the max. Because when do your tissues get repaired? When you're asleep, okay? And so the fact that you're working out, you have some other nutrients there, really most of the repair happens when you're asleep at night. So, yeah, great time.
Is the Go the reason I don't have problems with my restless legs anymore? Is that the I mean, I'm using everything you've got.
Okay.
Which product is it?
It can be it can be 3 different things. Some people, it's the electrolytes because of the potassium levels. Potassium is involved in muscle function. It can be the GO, and it also can be the balancing because of the electrolytes of the hormone levels. So it can be any of those things, and there's really not any particular reason why people get restless leg syndrome, and there's not something, well, it's an inflammatory thing, take X, anti-inflammatory. And so all of those things can contribute to that. Yeah, we have had quite a few people help them with the restless leg syndrome. I've never had it, but
It's
I
awful.
understand it's nasty. Yeah, people get up and start walking around all night and kind of like, go to bed. My legs. My wife gets that occasionally. I know about that. Okay. All right. Let's talk about just some of the other factors that help our bodies produce nitric oxide and help our cardiovascular system stay healthy. Okay. I forgot to mention. I want to mention one other thing. Those people who work out and do a lot of exercise will hear all about branched chain amino acids because they're the building blocks for muscle. And so we have the branched chain amino acids in there which help the body build muscles. So here's what I mentioned. We'll just skip over that because you can take it once a night right before you go to bed. The other option is some people who work out find that they like the energy they get from taking it, so they'll take a scoop before the exercise and then take another scoop at night. I just take mine before. In fact, I'd rather take 2 scoops. I take sometimes 2 scoops before I go to bed. And like if I've got today Fridays I play volleyball over BYU, so I'll do 2 scoops Thursday night before I go play. And Whether it helps or not, I don't know, but I'm trying to anyway. I need every edge I can get at this point. So the 2 scoops at night on the nights before I work out, that's important. Okay, real quickly, we're just going to go over some of the other products. I want you to know that the products that we introduce are scientifically based, that they have studies behind them, that they, you know, because I'm using them, my family's using them, and I want you to know that if you go up to a doctor, an MD, I'm not talking any doc, I'm talking an MD that's really strict and conservative, that we can show him that these products are scientifically validated and that they are, there's sound science behind the products, because all of our reputation, it's not just my reputation, it's everyone. If you're talking about the products, your reputation is on the line too, you know that? And so, wouldn't you hate to have somebody come say, hey, I just read your snake oil juice is really bad, you know? And so, I want you to know that we've done the research so that you can be sure of that. And so, I want to show you just a couple of things really quickly. One of the things that a lot of people are drinking the Red Bulls and the Monsters and the Amps and all those energy drinks, and they have some good ingredients. It's a real tricky thing, you know. They say, well, it's got the latest secret Amazon jungle juice in it, plus, and it's got all this other junk in it, okay? We do know that the B vitamins that are in our whiskey, this helps with energy production, okay? This helps with and you'll see these in Red Bull, okay? They've chosen some of these ingredients also. This helps with circulation and helps with energy production. Chromium helps balance blood sugar. Potassium helps the electrolyte level. But here's what's different. We'll look at some of the ingredients that are different. First of all, ours is an alkaline formula. All of those other products are very acidic. It also has the chlorophyll. We'll get into some of those things in a second. But here are some of the ingredients. Chlorophyll to help detoxify. Forsline, it is an herb. This actually is an herb, Coleus forskolii, and helps build lean muscle mass. Garcinia cambogia and hydroxycitric acid. Those are 2 of the ingredients. Again, you're all probably going to know, okay, just sit down, be quiet. I don't need all this technical information, but I just want to show you that these are all scientifically based products. Okay, Forsline is the plant. Here's how it works in the body. Does anybody know what cyclic AMP is? AMP is the energy production in the body.
Okay,
So
what's Forsline?
Forsline, Forsline is Coleus forskolii. It's the herb. It's an herb. It's a plant.
And what's it, in which product?
This is it right here. We're talking about Skinny Max right now. Okay? In both of the Skinny Max, there's the plant. We do a patented extract process. You know, a lot of companies will just grind up the herb and say, guess what? It has such and such an herb in it. But in my 30 years of study, my first 15 years was looking at raw materials and grading them and finding out which ones were effective and which ones weren't. For example, our blocks, we aren't even going to have time to talk about the blocks, but our blocks actually take a concentrate of that, and each capsule is equivalent to about 20 capsules of a regular product, okay? Because it's a concentrate. We don't just put the regular herb in there. We do a concentrate. We extract the active ingredients because I know what the dosages are. When it says take 2.5 grams of this herb and you just put the herb in the capsule, that's 5 capsules. You've got to take at least to get something started. Well, when we do a 20 to 1, then we're able to decrease the amount of capsules so that we're not taking 25 capsules a day of this and 50 capsules of the other. And it's important to get the correct dosage because, you know, a lot of companies will talk about, we'll just put a fairy dust amount just so you can put on the label. We put the amounts that are done in the clinical study so that we're going to get the results. Okay. So this is the plant, it's the extract we use, and it has to do with cyclic AMP, which is, it actually helps in the energy production in the body, okay? It's been studied in a lot of studies, and people say, well, do you have double-blind clinical studies on your products? We have studies on our products, okay? And these are some of the tests that were performed. The garcitrin, which is a combination of hydroxycitric acid, which comes from a fruit. But we don't just say, well, we ground up a little fruit and stuck it in a capsule and it's a wonderful Asian fruit. We actually take the active ingredient and put it in there in the proper amounts with high levels of HCA, which is hydroxycitric acid, And that's gonna be on the quiz right after this. But, and garcinol, those are two active ingredients which help support the healthy weight, okay? What does it do? It reduces body fat, increases lean body mass, and, now here's an interesting thing. See this? Increase lean body mass and content of body water. What do most diets do? They dehydrate you, don't they? And this actually helps increase those things, reduce the appetite level, and without side effects. Bioperine is actually a black pepper extract, and it helps increase the absorption of the nutrients in our body. Okay? Solafin is another ingredient. Now you'll notice these ingredients we're talking about, they're all natural products. They all come from Mother Earth. Solafin is a potato extract. It comes from a Norwegian potato. And what it does is it helps you feel full. It swells up, helps you feel full, but it also lowers insulin response, and then it also helps us reduce the amount of food we eat. Now, there's the technical explanation. You can read that. Okay. Did everybody get that? That's the text also. Now, what happens is these CCK levels that we're talking about, okay, what CCK does is that's the chemical that goes into your brain that says, guess what? You're full, you don't need to eat anymore. And so what it does, it causes an increased amount of CCK levels in your body, which then it slows gastric emptying. Why is that important? You feel full longer. Lower glucose peak levels. Why do we snack? Because we get those peaks and valleys of glucose level. You know, it's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I skipped lunch because I'm going on a diet. Now I have no energy, so what do? Candy bar, Coke. I'm on the road again. I'm ready to go again because our body says, hey, we've got low glucose levels right now. We also have a unique fiber in the product called fiber salt. What it does is it swells, helps us go to the bathroom more, helps get a feeling of fullness, and also has been shown. I'm going to show you these really quickly. But what it also shows is that this fiber actually helps our body absorb various nutrients without losing mineral content. Okay, so it actually helps us absorb various minerals as we take them. Now, one question that I get is, well, you know, when I've heard all these diets, all they do is make you lose water weight. You're just going to take the product and you lose a bunch of water weight. Here's the clinical study that shows it's not water weight. Okay. Okay. I'll do this really quick. The math really quick. Okay. Fat is approximately 25% water. Okay. In this study, they lost 20 pounds basically, and they lost 4 pounds of water loss. What percentage is that approximately? It's about 20%, you know. So it's, if you look at it, you actually lost actual fat and you didn't lose just a bunch of water. So, you know, you can go I can go lose some weight. I'm just going to take a diuretic, go to the bathroom, take a laxative, go to the bathroom, lose some weight. Great. But this shows that the fat loss was the weight loss was actually fat. Okay? All right. Some of the other clinical trials, body weight loss, 7.5. Okay, here's the placebo. Placebo lost 1.1. So it actually works. Okay? They got thinner. They lost body fat. Here's an interesting one because this is a lot of ladies say, well, I lost weight, but I lost it all in my chest. You know, I go on a diet, and the only place I lose weight is in my chest. This is not fair. Well, the good news is that at least the waist to hip ratio in this diet was very favorable, and a lot of stress-related weight gain, which is weight gain around the middle, is the thing that we really want to look at and help do that type of weight loss instead of just necessarily body fat stored. Okay? Some people store fat here, some all over their body. That's what we want to show with that study. Okay? There are no side effects. So basically, that's it. Green smoke, the difference between that is it does not have the herbs. It's more for our families, athletes, children. It has a resveratrol and grapeseed extract. Same profile as far as the alkaline pH and as far as the other nutrients.
Why in which is great, that we have the great seed, the antioxidants and stuff, but not in the skinny, because the skin, even people losing weight need all those antioxidants.
They do, and it does have some antioxidant properties. The bioperine has antioxidant properties. Actually, the chlorophyllin and the fulvic minerals have antioxidant properties. Basically, we did that to differentiate between the products. So could we add grapeseed extract to it? Yeah. It's kind of like, then our differentiation becomes a little bit different.
What are the benefits of resveratrol?
Okay, resveratrol, let's see, get the short, I already got the 2-minute sign. Let me think of the short answer. Resveratrol actually helps with what's called the SIRT1 gene in our body, which is a longevity gene. Okay, they've shown in mice when they gave them resveratrol, they lived longer and healthier lives because it activated this SIRT1 gene in their bodies. So the resveratrol, what it does, it functions as an antioxidant, but it also activates this gene which helps our bodies stay young. And if you want to look at, there's some really good stuff, go to Dr. Oz and look at his stuff on resveratrol. That's one of his top 5 nutrients that for maintaining youth.
Can you make the live skinny in lemon?
Yeah, that's a question. Can we do the whiskey on? You know what? Here we did it in lemon. The difficulty is with those herbs, it just doesn't taste quite as good because we have those herbs that are very bitter. The forzoline, and we're still working on that, and hopefully we'll get
We'll have
that
to
one.
mix the lemon with the whiskey.
And that's okay. You know, my wife does that too. She
So it's
actually
okay to do that?
she mixes a lemon green 2-0 and her Skinny Max
Yeah.
together, and that's what she drinks every day.
That's what I
And
have to
she
do.
drinks it doubly concentrated, so that's fine to do that also.
Okay.
Okay? Any other questions? I understand my time's up.
Yeah.
Okay, the LIV Skinny Max has between the LIV Skinny and the Skinny Max, yes, that's the only difference. That's it.
And how much caffeine?
They're about 100 milligrams. It's on label. I think it's about 100 milligrams. So less than a cup of coffee.
And it's naturally occurring caffeine, and
Right.
that's important to let everyone know.
Yeah, it is. It's natural caffeine. It's not.
Jeff, I'm just gonna share with everyone too, if you all go to the back office, make sure you're going there, because like the 20 slide presentation Jeff just went over is available to us there. You can actually send that in an Adobe format to a doctor or to someone that wants a lot of facts about the products, because I don't want to get stuck in that. I don't want to be the product expert. I thank Liv for doing that for us. But all this stuff is available to us to share with people. If you've got somebody that's really into facts and they want to do all the research, let them go for it.
Yeah,
But use the tools that are available to us.
Thanks. That's a great point. Yeah, we try and make these all available. And if there's something that you can't find, let me know. For example, on blocks, somebody said, "Well, give me some clinical studies." So I did a couple of weeks research, got 80 pages of clinical studies on the ingredients in blocks, and it's really boring. But what's really interesting about that is, for me personally, okay, is that there are a lot of clinical studies using the ingredients in blocks. Tiaga, the mushroom that we use, was one that it's found in the Pacific Northwest, and it's our foundation herb in the blocks, and it was studied for years in Japan, and it's shown to be the second most powerful natural cancer treatment agent. And they showed there are tons of studies with various types of cancer. We're not saying it's for cancer treatment, but there are a lot of studies in Japan on cancer treatment and increasing life expectancy. What I can tell you about that is it helps modulate, helps enhance the immune system. Okay?
What's the real short answer of how do I decide whether to drink green 2-0 or live skinny?
Okay. Live skinny if you want to lose weight. Green 2-0 if you're an athlete, want to hydrate. And any combination of two. Some people will drink the Live Skinny. Some people will drink the Skinny Max in the morning because they said, I want the boost of energy and I want to decrease my appetite. And I'm going to drink the Green 2-0 in the afternoon. You can mix and match however you want to do it, whatever works for you personally.
But the
Thank
green
you.
2-0, it seems like you lose weight too.
You will.
You just
Because you'll
drink it.
detox with the Green 2-0. In fact, before we had the Live Skinny Max, that's basically, you lost all your weight on just the Green 2-0. So
Yeah.
yeah, they both work. It's just that, one's a little more focused. Because you know what, there are some people, especially people with thyroid issues, are very difficult to help lose weight. They will just hang on to weight and they'll go through every diet and everything possible. Yeah, there are probably a lot of people in here that's the issue. And so anything you can do to help boost the thyroid, which, take some kelp to some other things, and that's another product I'm working on, thyroids and adrenals.
Yay!
So that and enzymes, we're working on some enzyme things too, so those some of the things I'm doing. Yeah, in fact, Cody mentioned adrenals.
Yeah, I just like, can we talk about adrenal products?
Yeah, and here's the thing is, a lot of people, they burn out their adrenals, that's the problem. So it's not necessarily just the fact of stimulating the adrenals, it's repairing and getting back to a healthy adrenal system. And so that's where we have to take that balance on the adrenals of, you know, are we gonna stimulate the adrenals, which are already just like on their last gasp, you know, ready to die. And so that's basically what we're doing with some of these new products, okay?
Wow.
All right, thanks everybody for coming.